What if the future of global power hinged on a remote desert in Namibia?
Beneath endless stretches of sand, Namibia guards a treasure, vast uranium deposits, the lifeblood of nuclear energy. This is not just a geological marvel, it is the pulse of a new energy arms race. But the impact goes deeper. By choosing its partners and wielding its mineral strength, Namibia is shaking up the old order, challenging the dominance of giants like China, and showing that smaller nations can tip the scales of world influence. India, a nation of over 1 billion, secured uranium from Namibia for $10 billion. For India, this is not a routine contract. It is a lifeline, fueling cities, securing jobs, and defending its global status. Ignore this story, and you risk missing how nations once dismissed as minor players are shaping your energy bills, your economic future, and your country's role in the world. Let's uncover how Namibia became a kingmaker in the nuclear age. How did a nation of fewer than 3 million people become the focus of a global power struggle? To understand this seismic shift, we need to look at how Namibia's uranium reserves became the center of global attention. The forces at play reach far beyond Africa's borders. Namibia stretches across southern Africa, a land where more than 4/5 is desert, seemingly empty and overlooked. Yet beneath those endless sands lies a secret, nearly 1/10 of the planet's uranium, the fuel that keeps lights on from Tokyo to New York. For years, Namibia's uranium quietly powered both Western and Chinese nuclear ambitions. India, with its massive energy hunger, watched from the sidelines, blocked by nuclear politics and international treaties. It was not a lack of interest, but the shadow of its nuclear status kept India locked out. Ignore the lessons of trust, and powerful nations risk being blindsided in the race for resources. In Namibia, history transformed a desert into a throne. But few remember what happened decades earlier. In the 1970s, while Namibia was still under foreign rule, the world's powers turned away. India did not. It threw its weight behind Namibia's independence, supporting the SWAPO movement before others even noticed. When independence finally came, India was among the first to offer a hand, building a trust that endured for generations. Yet pulling uranium from the earth is only the opening move. The world's next great resource contest is about to erupt. This trust became a silent advantage. In resource diplomacy, history is leverage. As China and Western countries rushed for Namibia's rhenium, India's early loyalty turned into a rare opportunity. That bond has now forged a $10 billion partnership, reshaping the global energy game and putting Namibia at the center of new alliances. What happens when the world's largest democracy and the world's most ambitious superpower set their sights on the same desert? As the stakes rise, Namibia's choices will ripple far beyond its borders. What happens next could redraw the map of energy and influence. India is sprinting toward economic superpower status, but there's a catch. More than 4/5 of its oil is imported. One shock in the global market, and over 1 billion people could be left in the dark. India's answer? Nuclear power, reliable, clean, and immune to oil's chaos. But every reactor relies on uranium, and most of it must be bought from abroad. And uranium is just the start. What deeper ambitions drive India's bold new alliance? That's where Namibia comes in. Long ignored, this African nation sits atop some of the world's richest uranium reserves. For India, Namibia is not just a supplier, it's a lifeline. Securing Namibian uranium means India can withstand global turmoil and safeguard its future. This is more than business. It's a high-stakes power struggle. Whoever commands Namibia's uranium shapes the world's energy, security, and influence, not only for India and Namibia, but for everyone. But there's a catch. China got there first. For over a decade, China has invested billions of dollars in Namibia's uranium mines, locking down massive supplies.
Chinese cities run on Namibian uranium, and China is not letting go easily. As India and Namibia draw closer, their partnership could remake the energy landscape and unsettle the balance of power. The world is watching what happens next. Beneath the headlines, a fresh network of alliances is quietly taking shape, and it stretches far beyond uranium. Namibia's famous diamonds now stream directly into India's world-renowned gem-cutting centers. Every sparkling stone polished in Surat carries a trace of the Namibian desert. Yet the story does not end there. Namibia's recent oil finds could soon reshape global shipping routes and redraw the energy map, shifting the world's balance of power. There is more at stake than minerals or oil. India's digital revolution is reaching Africa, as platforms like UPI begin linking businesses and buyers across continents. This is not only about financial transactions. It is the start of an economic bridge designed to bypass Western banks and Chinese tech, giving both countries greater independence and leverage. Still, every alliance brings its own risks. As Namibia and India seize fresh opportunities, they also risk becoming entangled in new rivalries or dependencies. The hope is freedom from old monopolies. The danger is falling into new traps. Together, India and Namibia are challenging an old script, the idea that African nations must choose between China or the West. Their partnership signals a new era, with African states forging their own destinies through multipolar alliances. This could lead to a more balanced global order where power is shared rather than imposed. What can every nation and every viewer learn from Namibia's ascent? Can this partnership outlast global pressures, or will Namibia and India become pawns on someone else's board? The stakes are rising for both nations. What happens next could ripple across continents, changing the rules for everyone. Namibia proves resource-rich countries do not have to remain mere suppliers. By earning trust over decades and choosing partners with care, Namibia has turned its uranium into both profit and power. This is a blueprint for the global South. Use history and new alliances to negotiate with strength, not desperation. For India, this alliance is more than just energy insurance. By moving beyond traditional partners like Australia, Canada, and Kazakhstan, India shields itself from sudden price swings, supply shocks, or political tremors. In today's multipolar world, spreading your bets is a defense against chaos. For you, these shifts are not just distant headlines. The deals being struck today will shape your electricity bill, the jobs in your city, and the rules that define our future. Understanding these changes now means being ready as old monopolies crumble and new opportunities emerge. Across Africa, Namibia's model offers something rare: dignity and leverage. Instead of being trapped between rival powers, African nations can now use their resources to rewrite the rules. This is a quiet revolution, giving the continent a stronger voice in energy and politics. So, as the sun sets over the Namib Desert, what lesson will you take with you? Ignore this new reality, and the risks are clear: missed chances, economic setbacks, and fading influence. The stakes are rising, and the world is watching Namibia's next move. Are you prepared for what comes next? The next time you flip a light switch, pause. Ask yourself, whose sands power your world, and whose ambitions shape your tomorrow? For India, this deal is not only about lighting cities. It is about survival in a world where energy security can spell prosperity or disaster. For Namibia, it is a chance to claim its role as a kingmaker, not just for Africa, but for the globe. This is not the old story of exploitation. Instead, Namibia wields its resources, history, and credibility to negotiate with strength. It partners on its own terms, outmaneuvering even giants like China. This is a new playbook: collaboration over dependence, mutual gain over extraction. The effects ripple far beyond boardrooms. These alliances will influence your energy bills, your job market, and the stability you often take for granted. Ignore these shifts, and you risk falling behind as the world transforms. Understand them, and you give yourself and your country a real shot to thrive in the years ahead. In this era of shifting alliances, Namibia's rise is not background noise. It is a clarion call. Once overlooked, this small nation now shapes the tempo and direction of the global energy race. By securing a uranium pact worth $10 billion with India, Namibia is not simply trading minerals. It is redrawing Africa's place in history and tipping the scales of global power. So, the next time you think of a distant desert, remember, the future is being decided in places you might never expect.